what you make as a child, not a youth, and soon as an adult, to be as good as he is.
And boy, is
look at his face.
And he's 29 years old. He's in his fighting prime. Chris said, hey, how about he fights the winner of Ramirez?
So, Jai Opetaia, IBF champion at cruiserweight, defeated Massey in a 6-round stoppage, basically brutalized him for all 6 rounds, especially the body work. He's going to be pissing blood. The best, most systematic performance that we've seen from Jai Opetaia at this level. Take a time out, like the video, subscribe.
Retires their fighter, and referee Steve Gray accepts their retirement. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and still IBF Cruiserweight Champion of the World and Ring Magazine Champion, Skye Opetaia.
Could he have looked at it?
Hold on 1 minute. So we're still trying to figure out where Jai Opetaia is going to go next. I want to get my colleague Big J on the line, and we're going to talk about the fight. He's now still undefeated. Had his jaw broken by Ramirez, had his nose broken, and I was wondering how he was going to come out this fight against Massey, who was a solid, credible fighter in his own right, but to be very honest, more of a B-level type of guy. He's not a A-lister fighter at all. So he did what he was supposed to do, and I'm glad that he got the stoppage and didn't play around with his food. By the way, he really busted Massey up. So now the question is, and it sounds like it could possibly happen, because in the middle of November, Gilberto Ramirez and for the WBA champion, and Chris Billiam Smith, the WBO champion, are fighting in a unification also in Saudi Arabia, an all-Latino card. So since Jai Opetaia is fighting right now in Saudi Arabia, it makes sense for both of those guys, the winner of that fight, to fight Jai Opetaia, right? So don't be surprised if we see him in the ring. Oh, let's listen in to call out both of those guys next week or next month.
That was a great performance.
Here's Chris Mannix.
John, congratulations. 2 great performances against Maurice Breedis, but this looked like a near flawless one tonight against Jack Massey. How did you feel about the way you fought?
I felt good. I knew Jack was going to come to fight. Nothing but respect to him and his family. Safe travels home. I just want to say a massive thank you to my whole team. Man, we've had to jump through some hurdles to get to this ring, Mark, Tup, Kaz, Mick, Fran, so many ups and downs.
He beat the shit out of him.
We stayed together, and we got the win. So this victory is for all of us.
Sounds like it was a tough training camp. What were some of the hurdles you had to deal with?
Oh man, just the ins and outs of boxing, just pushing ourselves to the trenches mentally and physically. I'm away from my daughter for the first time, so I miss her. Thank you, appreciate it.
So in about a month's time, right here in Riyadh, 2 of those cruiserweight belts are going to be on the line. Gilberto Ramirez against Chris Billiam Smith. Is that the fight, the winner of that fight, the guy that you want next?
I'm hoping that comes, man. Benny Boy just whispered in my ear, I was going to get the winner, so we'll see what happens. But Turkey El Sheikh, thank you so much, Your Excellency, for putting these events on. Thank you for making me a part of them. And whoever he tells me to beat, that's who I got to beat.
Congratulations, Jai.
Thank you very much.
So there you go. He's looking for the winner of Chris Billiam Smith and Zerto Ramirez, which is happening next month. I believe that date. Here we are. I just pulled it up. So it's going to be on November the 16th, 5 weeks away. Gilberto Ramirez, 46-1 with 30 KOs, taking on Chris Billiam Smith, 20-1 with 13 KOs for the WBO and the WBA titles to unify. Zerto Ramirez is the favorite to me, and I will not be surprised, even though this is taking place at cruiserweight, and Gilberto Ramirez is a long-time super middleweight. I won't be surprised if Chris Billiam Smith, he's never been stopped, but I'm that high on Gilberto Ramirez is that I think he could possibly beat him. Stop him. But then again, he lost to Dmitry Bivol, so it depends on how you look at it. We're going to get my colleague Big J on the line and talk about the fight. And basically, as we talked about, the 100 And the cruiserweight division is pretty much all. I mean, it's not all over the place. We do know where 3 champions are, but the WBC champion Noel McCallion, he's a Don King fighter, and Don King fighters tend to BS around when it comes to fighting or unifying unifying titles or becoming or fighting in big time fights. And by the way, he's his last champion, Don King's last champion. Let's get Big J in and see what he has to say. All right, Big J, as I was saying before I got you on the line, is that Opetaia was the most dominant he's ever looked that I've ever seen him. And as I'm looking at the comments, he beat the shit out of Chris Billiam Smith. What are your thoughts? I mean, not Chris Billiam Smith.
Jack Massey.
Jack Massey, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, absolutely dominated performance. I said that he'd get him out there around 6, 7 rounds, so I was right on the mark. I think that Jai needed to go to the body more, which he did. And I think that, look, I don't think there's going to be too many threats to him at cruiserweight. Mm-hmm. I think the only real threat would probably be the winner of Chris Billiam Smith, the Chris Billiam Smith fight. But I think he becomes undisputed without too many doubts. I mean, I've said that. I've been saying that for a while. I mean, out of the 3 world champions that we had at the time, which was when Tim, Jason Maloney, and Jai all had belts at the same time, I said Jai was easily the best of the lot. And even though Tim's fight's coming up next week, he's going to have a dominant performance. But it's pretty clear that Jai Opetaia is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in Australia. I mean, people like to keep saying, Tim, well, Tim doesn't put on performances like Jai does. I mean, Jai beat the absolute shit out of that guy. Yeah. So, and a dominating performance. Right? I mean, Jack Massey is a lower level guy, but look what he done to Britus. Yeah. Right. And Britus is really the only real threat to Jai. I don't see anyone in that cruiserweight division, right, or anyone moving up from light heavyweight, which is a hell of a jump, being a threat to Jai Opetaia at this moment.
The only person that's somewhat of a threat is Gilberto Ramirez, but he lost to Dmitry Bivol at 175. He's now at cruiserweight, and he was a long-time super middleweight. So he has the size, but we don't know about his power yet. But he would be the closest to being a possible threat. Not saying he is now. I would pick Jai to beat him, but a possible threat.
Absolutely.
Also, Miras Breeders gave a post. He said, "Congratulations, Jai. You show excellent boxing and improve your high-level skills in the ring. Undoubtedly, it was an impressive performance that left a strong impression. It seems like it wasn't just a fight, but a true demonstration of your superiority over your opponent."
I think he pretty much summed it up there. I mean, what more else needs to be said? Yeah. So Breeders hit the on the head. Yeah. So now, as you said, I can't argue with that he's pound for pound over there in Australia as far as Australian boxers are concerned. And now it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to get Noel McCallion away from Don King. By the way, WBC champion Noel McCallion has a mandatory against Ryan Rozecki, a fight that was supposed to happen, nearly a year ago, and they're still BSing around. And then we don't know what Badou Jack is going to do, because Badou Jack is the champion in recess, so he can come back and just snatch that title shot right up. So, but, hopefully in February, that's when the Saudis are supposed to have their next card. We could see, I don't know if it might be too early, but the way the Saudis been moving, we don't know. We could see him versus Gilberto Ramirez or Chris Billiam Smith, depending on how they come out of that fight next in February or so. What'd you say? When is Chris Billiam Smith and Gilberto Ramirez fighting?
November the 16th.
And what's the proposed date for February?
The last week of February.
Oh, yeah, that can be done as long as if they don't get the shit kicked out of them, that can be done.
Yeah, especially with the way the Saudis been moving. We've been seeing they've been getting their guys active fighting, every 3 to 4 months, for the most part. So we'll have to see. But you got a chance to check out Skye's fight. She looked good. I mean, I can say, even though Raven Chapman, I don't really consider her a top level opponent, but she seems to be getting better each fight.
She does. I sent a tweet that her style sort of like reminds me of Roy Jones. She carries her hands dangerously low, good evasive footwork, throws out that swinging, clubbing those punches like Roy Jones. I mean, I'm very, very I'm not saying she's exactly like him. Slight similarities, but this shit about her calling herself the future undisputed. Fuck off! How arrogant is that girl? Who's got the audacity to call himself future undisputed? Amanda Serrano would pummel her into next week. But
I don't like the fact that also the announcer, when he's coming into the ring, announces her as the future undisputed. Like, I think that's distasteful.
Well, of course it is, because it makes everyone think that all their fights are fixed.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, it's like, who's got the fucking... Not even Ali did that, right? Fucking, who's got the audacity to say, I'm going to be future undisputed? Why? Because all your fights are fixed?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck off, you arrogant... You know, that just puts a sour taste in my mouth. I mean, she's not that great of a boxer to start with, right? She's okay. As I said, a good counter puncher will knock her lights out. But, you know, she has this way of fighting low-level competition because, let's face it, the featherweight is not where it's at for the females. I think the featherweight division is probably one of the weaker divisions.
Yeah, it is.
If you think about it. Look where all the great fighters are.
The money is 135, 140, 147 for the women.
And bantamweight's a very strong division.
True. Yeah, they're there as well.
I think featherweight is probably one of the weakest divisions going because the competition, you know, is just not there. I mean, for the first two rounds, Raven had Skye sort of figured out, and then Skye worked into. Yeah. I think the scorecards were very fair. 98-92 was very accurate. Mm-hmm. I thought 90-91 was being a bit harsh. I gave Raven the first two rounds, but then Skye just, you know, turned it on, put her evasive footwork on that, got her range, got her movement. I mean, she does that very hunched over, crampy sort of style. Yeah. Right? She doesn't fall. She hunches over and she throws her at those flinging punches, but her footwork's massively improved. Have you noticed that? Because when she first started, she was very flat-footed. Now she's
she can move now. You know, she's getting better each fight.
Exactly. So, yeah, but I want to see her fight Chiara Brown. I mean, give her a real challenge.
Here's what happened. After the Chris Eubank Jr. fight, about an hour or so, half an hour or so later, they did an interview with Skye Nicolson in the back in the locker room, and she straight out called out Chiara Brown, said that she wants her next. Chiara Brown was supposed to fight tonight in Philly of all places, but her fight got canceled because her opponent had visa issues. So, you know, there you go.
Well, good. Skye's called out Chiara Brown last fight too. I remember that.
Yeah, she did. So but no, this was a straight call out. Like, you know, she said she's a boogeyman. Nobody wants to fight her. She says she wants her next. So we're just going to see when it happens. Good. Hopefully, the right thing to do would be for that fight to be in Australia. You know, that's the right thing to do. And maybe, you know, match her with, you know, on Liam Parrow's next card if that's not too far away.
Well, Liam's got the December 7th card, so sometime next year.
Yeah. You know, but that would be the right. But either way, you know, they got to get her that. They got to get her a bigger fight like ASAP and now, you know, to keep this momentum going if she ever wants to be able to be in the mix with the Amanda Serranos and the, you know, the Katie Taylors and all that. And frankly, you know, she may have to move up to get the bigger fights.
If she does, she does. I mean, I would like to see her. I think the commentary said something about Bumgardner or Terry Harper fighting. Terry Harper's got a belt. What division has she got a belt at?
I believe she was at 147. Remember, she was as high as 154.
Yeah, that's right. She's at one. Oh, that's right. Yeah, she's far too big for. Yeah.
Hey, let me see what division she last fought at. Because Terry Harper went all the way from 130 to 154, and then went back down. So she's back down at 135.
135. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's possible for Skye. It's not that big of a jump. And also, these are the women. They jump up and down in weight. Yeah, true.
Women jump up and down weights like it's very easy for them to do it.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I think Alicia Bumgardner would be an interesting fight.
That would, she's at 130.
Obviously, test the absolute shit out of Alicia Bumgardner because of her previous indiscretions, and test Skye too. I mean, you can't just test one without testing the other.
Also, you know, they may not even want Alicia Baumgartner fight because she's got issues with Matchroom. You know, so hopefully they'll be able to put their differences aside to be able to make the fight. But closing thoughts. First on Jai.
Obviously, dominating performance. Yeah, pretty much did what he needed to do. Vast improvement, and as I said, very little to no threat, and I believe he'll make undisputed.
Okay,
right? Unless something majorly goes.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
And closing thoughts.
Unless something majorly goes wrong, he'll be undisputed. Easy.
And closing thoughts on Skye.
Improvement, but for God's sake, girl, you're not friggin', the world's best thing. Future undisputed. No, get that crap out because it puts a sour taste in people's mouth.
Yeah, and also she only got one belt. She still has 3 to collect.
Exactly.
I can see if she had 2 or maybe 2, she can like start making an argument. Undisputed, here I come. 3, she can say, all right, next undisputed. But just 1 belt, nah. You're doing too much.
Exactly.
A vacant belt at that. She won.
Exactly. So, anyway, but good performances by both of them, and we move on to the next thing.
All right. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy and Big J at Old Mate Big J. Thanks for watching.